My thoughts on the whole situation is I had to give it some time to marinate because at first when it happened, I never ever thought it was real.
Mm.
I thought it was fake. I honestly thought it was fake. I was like, oh yeah, this is stage. Ain't no black man going to stand up and make somebody just walk up and slap him and him lean into the slap and laugh afterwards and be like, well, that just happened. Will Smith slapped me.
That's all, folks. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, ain't nobody going to do that. But
Best
it
documentary
clear
goes
it
to.
up.
Yeah. Mhm.
And again, I'll be honest, I still don't know if it's really real. Sometimes I wake up like last night.
Is this a dream? Is this a
Like
dream?
that, nah, this can't real because nah, apology, everything, tears. I still like, nah, probably there's some backdoor deal where like after the whole thing done, him go link up. Chris Perkins like, yo, dog, thanks for taking one for the team, bro. You're my real general, cause, should I really be upset if I never did like put on some public display of
Blood
manliness.
clot. Yeah.
Like that's how far my brain going at that. Cause I'm like, nah, man, this must be a scheme. This must be.
Yeah, that's so funny, dog. Like he's thinking to himself, like, oh boy, like the pussy going super wet today. Holy shit. I look
It's
like
like,
such a man.
yeah, man, I win an Oscar, and on top of that, I defended my wife in front of the whole world. Come on,
Shit,
man.
dog. You can't beat me now. I am the motherfucking man. You cannot chat to me.
Trust me, that this is how
Oh my
this
god.
is how the mind is powerful and how far it can go. Because in my head, I'm like, yeah, man, and probably them just was link up for drinks afterwards. I was like, yo, that was crazy, wasn't it? I was like,
Yo, you see Chris link up with the family for a photo op. I'm like,
like wait, and then everybody gonna be like, wait, what? Hmm. I was
no,
like, was it
they would
really
have to.
real?
They would have no man. They would have to do that like in the kitchen or something, dog. They can't make people see that, dog. All right, everybody say assault. Assault. Yeah.
Yeah, and then another part of it that like makes me confirm my conspiracy theory
Mm.
is the ticket sales for his upcoming comedy tour
Yeah,
increased exponentially.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Exponentially.
Want to
So
hear
I'm
that
like,
joke there?
you
I want to
know what
hear
I
that shit.
mean? So I'm like, yo, what if this was really staged? Because entertainers will always be entertainers, bro.
Yeah.
Uh, Given the fact that Will laughed before, and I know all the naysayers gonna be like people laugh before when they're embarrassed or whatever, whatever. I'm like, I get
Mm.
that, but I'm just saying, like looking at it for what it was, I'm like, could it be that this was all just made up? But then looking at it from a serious perspective now,
Mm.
I'm like, yo, first of all, big up Will on getting his award. You know what I mean? Him really deserve it.
True.
We don't need to be validated by these white people, but it's
It's
still great
nice.
to
It's
see.
nice to
Yeah, it's
be,
nice.
yeah, by the
It's
academy, which hopefully
mm-hmm,
isn't just white people, but yeah.
it's still a good thing. And I see people saying, "Yo, this just overshadows what he achieved." I'm like, nah, not really. Him still good. Them have a celebratory party afterwards.
Mm.
Him drop two summertime lyrics joke. I don't know. I never know, know what he was singing, but he was just there dancing and enjoying
Oh,
himself. So
good.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't think it really outshone his award, but um, I still think that what happened, in my opinion, it
Mm.
shouldn't have happened. You understand? Can't tell a man what he should or should not do. He reacted obviously with whatever urges or rage he had within him. Me
Mm.
not sleep with Jada at night time for know how she feel about her head and her
Mm.
alopecia. And alopecia, which is a hair loss
Condition.
disease, a condition that has existed for a long time. Men
Mm.
have had alopecia. LeBron James has alopecia. You understand? Because that's the term given to hair loss.
Alopecia knows
For
no face or gender.
no face nor gender. You understand? And
Mm.
that's the truth. You understand? And from the perspective I'm looking at all of this from, and I don't use the definition to belittle or to downplay how Jada feels, because we all have insecurities and things we feel bad about, whether
Mm-hmm.
it be a physical disability or just a natural aspect of our body that we have. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Or do not have. We I'm not looking at it from the perspective of, okay, she should have just sat there and not feel hurt. If she's hurt, she's hurt. You understand? But we have also to look on it from the perspective that Chris Rock is a comedian. They hired him to roast. That's what they do every year.
Mm-hmm.
Them get a
He wasn't even
comedian.
hosting the show. He
You
was just
understand?
presenting one award. That's literally
Yep.
it.
This man is doing his job. We all know he's a comedian. Will Smith knows he's a comedian. Will Smith has made bald jokes about people in the past. I don't care if anybody want to get up and say, oh, but it's like 10 years ago. Even in the recent past, I'm pretty sure Will Smith has made jokes about
But
people,
people, full
you know what
stop.
I mean,
Okay.
and things that they never liked, and you don't know. No one knows anyone's battle. So let us not trick ourselves to feel like, okay, because you sit down and watch Red Table Talk, that everybody knows that she has alopecia.
Yeah. Right. It's like we were talking about in that previous video we did, Doc. So I guess you were right. You can't teach comedy, Doc. Some niggas just don't get
Mm,
that shit clearly.
mm. I don't believe that I know the full story, because I don't. You understand? I'm just commenting on what I saw and how the world is reacting to it, with this divide. And that's why even earlier when I was talking to you, I was saying to you, what do you think about, like, how do you protect women, and
Mm-hmm.
when is it right to use violence? You know what I mean? When is it
Mm-hmm.
ever right to get up and be like, okay, I'm going to slap a person? Because I'm not talking about just a man, I'm talking about a person. See, Nico would like to talk about equality. When is it ever right to slap a person because you are offended by what they said?
Right. And I was basically saying that because I do have some experience with this as a kid, where I would get into fights every other year or so. I never, except maybe one time, I've pretty much never left some physical altercation feeling justified. I always felt stupid afterwards because it was very clear that my ego got in the way, and the reason I was doing what I did was because, oh, you made me feel bad about myself, but in reality it was me feeling bad about me. So that's why when I look at the Jada Will thing, I'm like, Jada is having a battle, right, with alopecia and accepting herself and accepting the condition.
Mm-hmm.
Will is trying to fight her battle, which he cannot do, right? Just because someone made a joke is not the reason she's upset. She's upset because she has that condition and has not come to terms with it. And then it
Mm-hmm.
goes back to the autobiography, because people keep making mention of well, not people, some people like Charlemagne have made mention of the autobiography, and the fact that in basically the first chapter, the man is saying like, yo, I feel like a coward I felt like a coward ever since my father hit my mother and I never did anything. And I'm like, bro,
Mm-hmm.
that is so heartbreaking. Like, that's not even your fight. You are a 9-year-old child. That's not
Mm-hmm.
your battle, bro.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, is your mother's battle and your father's battle. And it's not fair that she have to go through some shit like that because she can't win against this man's strength and all that fuckery. But you're a fucking kid. You can't win either. And based on how you make your father sound, I'm gonna fucking kill you. So it for him to feel guilt for that
Mm-hmm.
is not, I'm sorry for him. I'm really sorry for him. But then he took that fear, that guilt to, and then decided, you know what? I'm gonna stand up for my wife. I couldn't stand up for my mother when I was 9. Well, now I'm gonna stand up for my wife in my 50s or whatever, however fucking old he is.
Mm-hmm.
And he made himself look like a right idiot, all because he didn't realize the actual problem. It's not about you being a coward, Will. You're not a coward. Which party is a fucking coward, bro? You're just
Mm.
racked with guilt. If you would just let it go, you'd be fine. Like I read said the man mother, like the man always apologizing to his mother to this
Mm.
day about not defending her. The pussy blood clot, dog. Dude, let go of the guilt, bro. It's going to kill you. And as someone who also has been racked with guilt from
Mm.
childhood, I'm telling you, when you let go of guilt, fuck yo, dog. It's like life is like completely different. You don't have this thing dragging you, and you have to
Mm.
like move like you're moving through sludge, bro. I'm telling you, that's
I
really where he made
agree.
the mistake. Yeah.
I agree. And that's why I asked the question out the way I asked it, because I'm not saying if I was in the situation I would have slapped a nigga.
Mm.
I'm not saying that. I don't know what I'll do. I don't know. And that's
We
why I'm
don't know.
asking the question. Because
Mm.
on the one hand, people are saying it's okay, but like in my head, I'm like, what if tables turn and this is somebody offending a female offending him and him just hit her? Is it going to be okay?
It's like you said earlier, Doug. The fact of the matter is, the man said words to you. Have a conversation with Chris Rock. Yo, Doug, I never really appreciate when you made that joke because my wife is going through like a really difficult time with alopecia. Why is your first instinct to go to violence? It's because you grew up around it. That's why. And you thought it was okay to use violence because you never use violence. But that's two different fucking situations, bro.
I don't think him going to see it that way. You
He needs to
understand?
see that way up because
And I
he's
think,
gonna hit somebody else.
and when I look at it, also for the persons who are saying he shouldn't have made that specific joke, in my head I'm like, what kind of jokes was he supposed to make? It's not like he was going around targeting her specifically. And I know people are gonna be like, but he did this a couple years ago and blah 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 blah.
He did talk about
This
her hair a
is
couple years ago.
it's show business. It is show business. It's comedy. As a matter of fact, a world that I myself don't even understand. You
Yeah.
understand? Because I'm not
Fine.
there.
Oh,
We're
okay.
just
Fine.
we're just consumers of everything that we're seeing.
Mm.
We don't roll with these people to know what's really happening, and which is why I also said again, I feel it for Jada because I don't know how she really is at home thinking about this alopecia thing. I don't know if she at home crying, but she has
She
stated
clearly feel bad
openly,
about it. So yeah.
yeah, and she's clearly stated openly that she doesn't like um what has been happening to her, and it has been a struggle. You understand? But again, I like to look at different perspectives. I'm looking at it from Chris Rock's perspective now. Like, yo, this man never know, and even
Mm.
and it was confirmed that he didn't know
Right.
by Charlemagne and a few other persons who spoke to him after the event.
Mm. And I
He
think his
didn't know,
his his publicist
and his
also said
publicist
it.
just said yes. His
Yeah.
publicist also said he didn't know.
I didn't
You
know.
understand?
You knew.
I knew.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew. But he didn't know, and we can't assume again that because as a consumer of content, that everybody is consuming
The
the
same
same
content.
content that you
Right.
are. We create this idea that because we're on Twitter and we're all in this little niche and in this little bubble, and everybody is sharing this and sharing that, that okay, this is the entire world, but Twitter is not the whole world.
People are very insular. That's another problem with the world, bro. Like, oh, this is my realm and this is the only realm. So when people say things that don't agree with my realm, we need to like shame them and ostracize them. No, nigga,
Mm.
there's just different people in different realms. That's just what it is.
Disagreement is necessary to have discussion. If I disagree, it doesn't mean that I'm thinking that okay, all women should not be protected and da, 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 da.
Mm.
That's not what I'm saying. I just believe that there's a way to do things. You understand? And it's not because of the white folks or because it was the Oscars. No,
It's
it's
respect,
because
dog.
it's respect, and you hit somebody for saying something that they never even knew it was offensive.
Yeah. And the fact that he went when he got the Oscar, again, congrats. But when he got the Oscar and he still didn't apologize to Chris, even at that point, it still did not register in his brain. I might have made a miscalculation here.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you, dog, it's weird. And it's really funny how women have been defending Will Smith, but they also hate toxic masculinity. What the fuck do you think that is? You think that's good masculinity?
Again, as I
You
said,
think I
Jay,
want to teach
like
my son that?
as I said,
Apparently,
Jay,
Jaden has been taught that because he was tweeting, yeah, that's how we do family. I'm like, yeah,
as I
dog.
said,
You
Jay is
you
a.
did Jaden, you try that somewhere and see if that
Mhm.
works out for you. Okay. I'm advising you don't do that. Don't do that shit. It's a bad idea. Use
And
your words,
and
bro.
that's another point I wanted to touch on. Like, first of all, how do you handle these situations? How do you handle um conflict? Because this is conflict. You understand? Conflict can arise from anything. You can look for me tomorrow and tell me that, yo, Mark, you drink too much water, and for some reason that offend me in some way. So I don't even know why it would, but for
My
some
mother was
reason
a water.
it
Oh my.
or
Yeah.
something, and then I'm going to slap you in the face because you offended me, and what I have some water issues within me, like
I
a
have water
renal
phobia.
issues or something, and I don't know, and it's like, how do you deal with this and where do you draw the line? And I hope people don't think this is like the reality for the majority of the world. It's not. Don't try that at home.
Yeah. Kids, don't try this at home. Okay.
Don't try that at
Only
home
jackasses do
because
that shit. Okay.
and I hear people trying to justify it and say, yo, a few people trying to justify it and say, yo, oh well, if you assault somebody, it would be a minor
Misdemeanor.
this misdemeanor,
Yeah.
and you won't spend much time in jail or whatever. But I'm
Yeah.
like, you don't really know that.
That's said by a nigga that's been to prison. That I don't give a fuck. I don't care about that shit. Why the fuck do I have to have a criminal record? Like I tell you, yo, when we're talking about toxic masculinity, we talk about the dumbest shit and the time when we really actually need to talk about it. Oh, we love it. Oh, yes, I remember reading this in Sweet Valley High and Daniel Steele. So that must mean that it's a great. Shut the fuck up, bro. Seriously, dog. We're trying to move forward. We're trying to love
Mm-hmm.
people. Well, according to Will Smith, we're trying to love people. Okay. Well,
And
part of that is
I think
using our words, bro.
I honestly think he genuinely meant what he said in terms of
He
not the
didn't
apology,
apologize to Chris, bro.
not the
He did not.
apology.
Okay. At least you're talking
Man, I
about the
think
new apology.
yeah, no, but both of them. I don't think
Okay.
any of the apologies. But I think he genuinely meant what he said, that he wants to have a environment where, you know what I mean, is love and togetherness and whatever. I
Yeah,
think he
but
genuinely, but I don't think he understands that
what
you
it
can't.
takes.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Because you can't, and this is the dangerous thing about it, and this is why I've hesitated so long to talk on the topic, because I'm like, have people really been around aggressive people and understand how aggression works? It's not gonna just be targeted to one person, you
Doug,
understand?
I'm gonna tell you this right now. You see, Will Smith has been around violent people. His dad was violent.
Mm,
And even though Will Smith portrays himself as a very non-violent person, probably because he is a non-violent person, he felt justified in doing it, in showing violence in that moment. It was just
mm,
honest. I keep saying it, it's a miscalculation, bro. The fact is,
mm,
someone told a joke, your wife didn't laugh, you felt
mm,
like you need to defend her, and you made
mm,
yourself an embarrassment. And I'm telling you, if other people make the decision to go and attack people because of what you did, that is not necessarily your fault, but you were
mm.
the inspiration for this.
I
That
don't think
actually
the word.
pervades.
I don't think people in the world want to look at it that way, bro.
Dog, I'm
Love
telling you.
only is love. Love for the world is only extended to people who look good and who are popular
And who I know.
and who I know.
Pathetic, bro. I'm like, yo, dog, we have a long ass way to go when it comes to trying to make this world a better place. If we're just thinking about ourselves the whole
Yeah,
fucking time.
because you do have people who are like, yeah, man, Chris Rock deserved that, man. Any man talk to me like that, a box him gonna get in them face, and I'm like, bro, you have to be careful with that, bro. You understand? And again, I ain't telling you that Will shouldn't have done what he did or should have done what he did. The man do him do it happen already.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? All I'm talking about is just to think. Let us think about these things. Let us think about how this affect Chris Rock. Let us say after all of this, the man meds what happened and decide say, yo, him can't handle the backlash
You know,
of
he's the
all
real
of
victim, right?
this.
He is the victim in this.
You understand?
Fucking hell, dude.
Imagine if him can't manage the backlash of all of this now and then him commit suicide. We're not gonna be like, yeah man, that him for do.
I'm not thinking
That
about
that
that.
is that what we want? Or do we want him to understand that, yo, bro, yeah, you did offend her, brother. You understand? And
Mm.
we never like that. So apologize and don't do that again or whatever. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
But for some people, so for some reason, I don't think people like that. They like to see the violence. They like to see somebody get hit
Oh yeah.
because for some reason that adrenaline and that rush that them get from releasing that pent up energy
Mm-hmm.
excites them.
Yeah. Everybody's excited until they get punched in the face, though.
And every single one of us, if that's the case, every single one of us deserves to get punched in the face for something.
That dog, and the fact that that needs to be explained, pussy blood clot. Like, I'm like, seriously, bro. Seriously. A little empathy goes a long ass way. And at the end of the day, guess what? Chris Rock might not have even written the fucking joke.
Yeah, might not. We don't even
Might
know.
not. We don't know. We
We
don't
don't
know.
know. It's alleged that it may not have been written by him. And again, people trying to, I don't know. People just always find a nice way to justify violence because they're like,
Yeah.
even if he didn't write the joke, why did he have to say it? To get paid. And then again, it's a joke.
It's
It's
a
a
joke.
joke.
It's a joke. That's really what it is, right? Not only is it a joke, it's not even a good joke. So like, if you want to thump him in the face because like be funnier, okay,
Mm-hmm.
maybe okay, I'm kidding, no, none
Mm-hmm.
of that. But seriously though, it's like Doug is a joke, and I'll tell you again, as someone who has been on the receiving end of this, because people made fun of me, and then it took me a while to like understand, like, yo, dog, it's really not just about you, dog. You realize that they're actually making jokes about everybody. They're making jokes about each other, and they're taking
Mm-hmm.
it and they're laughing along with it. You are the one with the huge motherfucking ego, Jason. It's you. You are actually the problem. You've been the problem the whole time. So just laugh with them and stop acting like they're making fun of you because they don't like you. They actually really liked me. Like these people at school, like they actually liked me. That's why they were making fun of me.
Bro, I don't know how to look at this. I'm not saying I have the best view of the world. I'm not saying I can heal the world and make it a better place. Bull crap. That's not what I'm saying. All I'm
Mm.
just saying is, yo, just have a little empathy. Like, just understand that on both sides, this is something that you really need for free because you're literally now doing to Chris what you did not want for Jada, which is people going around, yeah man, him deserve the slap and would have slapped him too, and all of these narratives going around that him never that funny anyway, and Chris Rock is not that. Have you seen those things? Like people like form this alliance to be talking about how Chris Rock did deserve to get slapped from a long time and from time him never funny and like where's all of this coming from all of a sudden?
Yeah, I mean
I
that's
thought we
some
liked
Twitter shit.
Madagascar. Yeah,
Yeah,
yes.
that's some Twitter shit, bro. I can only be in the cesspool for a certain period of time before my skin starts scratch me. So I had to vacate the pool because they
I
were just
think
pissing in it, dog. They're just
I
pissing in it
think
all
to
day.
me what stood out most on social media was this post that I sent you that a girl made and
Yo, talk
through
about that.
through
Yeah, talk about that. Talk about that.
through all the noise. Which one of them? Because it's a positive one attacking.
That's the only one I remember. Oh, you sent me something.
Because
Well, I don't know about that other shit. That one that only had
through,
like 2 likes. That one.
yes,
Yeah.
through all the noise, I think this is what stood out to me. She said the Oscar incident proved a lot of things. Rich and famous people have little to no consequences for their wrongdoing. Comedians are in trouble. What is freedom of speech? Violence is okay once everyone agrees with the reason behind it. That's the one that stood out to me most too.
Okay.
Celebrities assume everyone knows everything about their lives. People think defending your loved ones always requires violence. And number six, defending your ego can easily be seen as defending a loved one in most contexts.
Brilliant. Great
Brilliantly
summary.
put.
Great summary.
Brilliantly put. Brilliantly put. I agree with her.